Welcome back everybody to the About Wine table. I'm very excited today because we are going to be doing our very first virtual tasting, and we are tasting a beautiful 2007 vintage Bordeaux blend from Jacob's Vineyards, which is a very small boutique winery in the Hemel-en-Aarde Valley. So the Hemel-en-Aarde Valley, just outside of Hermanus, one of my favorite valleys to go and visit. I love the style that they produce there. Beautiful terroir for Chardonnay and Pinot Noir as well. So a Bordeaux blend from that area, pretty rare, but that makes it a very special wine and very limited as well. It's also a 2007 vintage, as I mentioned, so it's a wine with a bit of age behind it at the moment at its peak drinking capabilities, and we're going to get stuck into it today, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about it. I feel very privileged today to be able to taste this beautiful bottle of wine. The 2007 was actually such a good vintage that the owner kept it back and kept it in his private cellar for him to enjoy by himself or with his close friends. So there's very few of these bottles, and for me being able to enjoy it and share it with you is actually very special. This specific wine consists out of 44% Cabernet Sauvignon, 39% Cabernet Franc, and 17% Merlot. So it's the real basis of a Bordeaux blend, and it's spent about 22 months in French oak, 225 litre French oak. 25% of that was new oak, 75% of that was second and third full barrels. And we're going to get into it now. You'll see I've put it into the decanter there just to give it a bit of air and let it breathe a little bit before we started the video. It is a 2007, so it is a slightly older bottle of wine with a nice bit of age behind it, which is perfect. I like my Bordeaux blends with a bit of aging potential, and the wine I think is drinking fantastically well at the moment. You can probably still keep this another 3 to 5 years maximum, but I think at this point in time the flavors and the tannin and the structure of the wine is also well integrated that it forms a beautifully constructed wine. After another couple of years you might start to lose a little bit of that structure and the bit of fruit that it still now possesses. So I'm just going to pour from my decanter. As I mentioned in the previous video, I also always like decanting my older wines. It just gives it a bit of air and it gives the wine a complete different sort of profile. So let's get into it. Straight away, it's got that typical sort of brick red color on the edges, which indicates that it is a wine with a bit of age behind it. And beautiful look to the wine, no sediment in there at all. Oh, that's a typical Cabernet nose. It's got beautiful tobacco leaf. It's got dark fruits, black currants, a little bit of black cherry as well. There's some green olive and some mint also. Slight little bit of a mint undertone, bit of greenness coming through because Hemel-en-Aarde is a bit more of a coastal, cooler climate area, so you will get a bit more of a greener flavor. So it's a beautiful nose. Got all that typical sort of Bordeaux blend, Cabernet driven flavors with the Cabernet Franc as an undertone. That's lovely. That's beautiful. It's so well integrated. There's still structure, there's still backbone from the Cabernet Franc. All the flavors you pick up on the nose follows through onto the palate as well. It's a lovely smooth entry. It just gives you a subtle hint of fruit on the front. The mid palate is still firm, and it finishes off with a nice bit of tannin, a little bit of grip on the sides, but not too much. And the green olive, very distinctive on the back of the palate. So a beautiful smooth entry, nice bit of grip on the mid palate, and a firm finish as well, and still full of flavor, but still smooth as well. So bold flavors, but smooth. It's a fantastically balanced wine. It's very, very good. You get that bit of oak integration as well, as I mentioned. 25% new oak, 75% second and third full. So not too heavily wooded, and it's a wine that gives you a little bit of a vanilla cinnamon extract from the oak as well. Also lovely integrated, and it all comes together, and it is an exceptional wine. Drinking fantastically well at the moment. As I mentioned, I think it's probably at its best now. You can still keep this and it will still age beautifully, but for me personally, I still like that hint of fruit that it's got and that nice sort of grippy tannin on the side of the palate. Not overpowering at all, just gives it good structure. So Beautiful wine. It's also wine that's not too high in alcohol. Usually South African reds about 14.5% in alcohol. This one is actually 13.5%. So again, it just adds to the balance of the wine. The alcohol isn't really jumping out at you. It's all nicely constructed, and really a joy to drink this bottle of wine. Definitely, I think a wine that you need to decant, just opens up all those flavors and just makes it a pure pleasure to enjoy this. So yeah, definitely impressed with this. I really was eager to try this, and it definitely did not disappoint at all. So fantastic wine. Oh, that's a beautiful nose. I can definitely see myself enjoying this in front of the fireplace. Fantastic wine for the upcoming winter season. And if I were you, I would get my hands on a couple of these bottles. Jacob's Vineyards. It was a pleasure. Now the big question is for you is, how do you get your hands on a couple of these bottles? As I mentioned, it's very limited and there's just a few available. The wine is selling at an absolutely fantastic price, I must say. If you are interested in the wine, you can just drop a comment in the comment section down below of this video, or you can go look us up About Wine on Facebook. Drop a comment there. So don't miss out. Get your hands on a couple of these bottles. It is a really fantastic vintage bottle of Bordeaux wine at an exceptional price. From next week, we will be able to deliver these wines straight to your door. So if you are interested, once again, as I mentioned, get in contact with us. We'll give you all the details. And yeah, definitely do not miss out on this. And avoid the queues, and rather order online and let us deliver the wine straight to your door. So again, beautiful bottle of wine. You will definitely not making a mistake to get this into your cellar, ready to drink now. Also to keep a couple of years, and fantastic boutique style vintage wine that you will not be able to find anywhere else except here. So if you're interested, get in contact, and then we'll see you again next time. Cheers.